Hey, I'm Phyllis from southernfrugal.com. Today, for lunch or supper, depending on how soon it gets done, we're going to make another bakeover. And this time I'm going to make it a little bit different because I'm going to use the biscuits to go over the top instead of the cornbread. And I'm only going to use half of this pack because I don't want too much biscuit dough on top of it. So anyway, they call this a bakeover. Now, I've already fixed some little meatballs using some ground chuck. This was a little less than a pound, and all I did was put salt on them and cook them in a skillet and kind of get a lot of the fat out of them. So that's going to be our meat. Now, I've got my burner up on high, and I'm going to pre-cook some really fine cut potatoes. This is about 1/4 of a bell pepper, 2 very small carrots, and 1/2 of an onion, a small onion. So just going to dump that in and just par cook these a little bit. And I've got my oven preheating at 425 degrees, which is simply what the directions call for on the box of the Red Lobster biscuits. Yeah, 425. All right, so I've just got a little bit of oil in here. I'm going to pre-cook these, let's just say for about 10 minutes or so, and we'll be back. All right, my vegetables have been cooking for about 7 minutes, and I did check one of the potatoes. They're just, not quite done, but almost. I decided to cut my little meatballs in half just because I thought, they were too big for one bite. So I'm just going to add the meatballs to that. Just mix it all up. Alright, so now I'm going to turn that burner off and set that aside. Now, this is the pan I made the other bakeover in. You see how it's kind of got the sides that are kind of angled out? So I greased it down with some Crisco because I do not want this to stick, although it might, and if it does, it'll still be good. But anyway, so I'm going to take these off the burner now, set those aside, set my pan aside, and now we're ready to mix up the Red Lobster biscuits. Now, I'm going to only use half of the pack, or sort of half of the pack. I'm going to cut it open. And my burner's still hot, so I had to move over here a little bit. So I'm just going to hold the bag kind of like that and just pour out half of it. There you go. So the other half I'm going to save, and we'll probably have them as actual biscuits later in the week. So I'm going to put that back in the box. Now when I go to make the little butter sauce that goes on top, I'm only going to use half this packet also. But anyway, so I'm also going to go ahead and mix 1/2 cup of sharp cheddar cheese in with that flour mixture. Just mix that up. I like to do it that way because the cheese gets distributed a little better if you mix it up with the dry ingredient. And now we're going to add the water, and I'm going to go ahead and use the directions call for 3/4 cup of water, but I want this top to be a little runny so it can go down inside the vegetables and the meat and, cause it all to come together, really. All right, so let's go ahead and put the water in this. I'm going to go ahead and use that was how long I was going to cook my vegetables, but they were actually done quicker than that. Not done, but par cooked. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add the whole 3/4 of a cup of cold water because I want this to be a little runny if we can get it that way. Now, I've never done this before, so we're going to see how it turns out. I'm thinking it's going to be very good. Just mix that up till all that flour is wet. And you see it's kind of runny, but not too much. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and dump in my meat and vegetable mixture into this pan that can go in the oven because it's got a metal handle. Unlike this pan, I don't think can go in the oven, or I've never put it in the oven anyway. Get all that out now. I did put a little salt in the vegetables as I was cooking them. All right, looks like we got a lot of meat in there, which is okay. Mr. Bucky will love that. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to dump this biscuit mixture right on top. See if I can get it to go out even, cover everything. I don't know, we're going to try though. Yeah, so hopefully this will be a good amount for 2 people, I hope. Alright, I'm just going to spread that out over the top. And again, when we go to put the little butter mixture on, like the directions say, after it's cooked is the way you normally do it. And I'm going to do this the same way. After it's all cooked, I'm going to put that little butter sauce on top of it. Alright, y'all, that's what it looks like. There you go. It's going in the oven at 425 degrees, and I'm thinking 20 to 25 minutes. Anyway, when it gets done, we'll be back. In the meantime, I'm going to make us a little salad. We'll be back. Alright, our little bakeover is cooking in the oven. I'm getting ready to make us a little salad. This is baby arugula and some also some baby spinach. It's really more arugula than spinach, but anyway, I've got that all washed and ready. And I'm going to shred some of this cucumber that I got that doesn't have any of the wax coating on it. So I'm going to shred that, peeling and all. And we're going to end up putting this on top of that arugula and the spinach. I'm going to try real hard not to shred one of my fingers while I'm doing this. I'm just using the big side of the shredder. No matter what to do it. Alright, now we're going to put this in a little bowl. Actually, I've got 2 pieces here, and I think I want to use both of them. So we're going to go ahead and shred this one too. Oh, almost dropped that on the floor. Yeah, this is kind of what you can do with cucumbers when they're real big and the seeds get real big. And I've done this with cucumbers in our garden when we let them get too big. And that way you haven't like wasted it because the seeds are so big. Alright, so there's our little pile of shredded cucumber. And so what I'm going to do is just put that down in a bowl. And to that, I'm going to add, see how pretty that is? I'm going to add just a little bit of vinegar. Let me rinse my hand off. Okay, so to this, we're going to add just a little bit of vinegar. This is apple cider vinegar. Maybe a couple of little teaspoons. Also a little bit of salt. And a little bit of garlic powder, just a little bit. So this is going to be like our salad dressing for the arugula and spinach. And so I'm leaving that, see it's got a little watery part to it. We use all of that. Alright, so now I'm going to set this aside and I'll be putting this all together on the plate. Alright, so we'll be back as soon as our bakeover gets done. Be back in a minute. Alright, to the shredded cucumbers, I added about a half a teaspoon of sugar and mixed it up. It really makes the water run out of them. So now I'm going to add, I don't know, maybe about 2 tablespoons of buttermilk. Just regular cultured whole milk buttermilk, or you could use sour cream. Now, the combination of cucumber and buttermilk just tastes really, really good. In fact, you can make a cold cucumber soup like this. Makes a great summer soup. Alright, there's what it looks like. Alright, our stuff's almost done. It looks like it's going to end up cooking for 30 minutes at 425 degrees. Let me back up here. Yeah, so I just checked the bakeover in the oven, and I want it to cook about 5 more minutes. So that will mean the total cooking time was about 30 minutes. Alright, we'll be back when everything's ready. I've already got our iced tea fixed and everything. We'll be back. I decided to go ahead and dump this dressing into the salad so I can mix it all up. And that way a lot of the fluid will stay at the bottom. And that way it won't be running all in our plates. So I'll just mix that up real good, and that way that juice won't kind of get all over our plate. Can you see the juice in the bottom? You can't really see that. I'll let that, but this taste is going to stay there, see? But anyway, we're going to be having this in just a few minutes, so we'll be back. Alright, I just took the bakeover out of the oven, and now I'm going to go ahead and mix this little seasoning pack with 3 tablespoons of butter. But I'm only going to use half the seasoning pack. Because remember, we're only using half the recipe. I'm going to see if I can't do that. Pouring out half of it. That ought to do it right. A little more. That ought to do it right there. I'm just going to mix this up. I melted that butter. That's 3 tablespoons of butter. Just going to mix that all up. Alright, I got my little brush out here, and I'm going to pour this right on top. Kind of spread it all around. Yeah, so this is really the only seasoning other than salt that I put in the vegetables and of course in the meat. Alright. Smells really, really good. Alright, so we're just going to leave this sitting here maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and hopefully it will come out of the pan. I can see that it's already coming loose from the sides. Pretty good. Just going around the sides. Make sure. Anyway, hopefully it'll come out and look nice. So we'll be back when it's cooled just a little bit. Alright, I let this cool just 2 or 3 minutes because we're hungry, y'all. So hopefully, I don't know how much of it came out. Oh, some of it's stuck in there, but I can just scrape that out, no problem. Put it right back on top. Yeah. It's not all that pretty, but I'm sure it's going to be good. Alright, so I'm going to get this on our plates, and I've already got the salad on the plate. The tea is fixed, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like. Alright, there's what it looks like on the plate, and I have already tasted of it, y'all. It's very, very good. We've already got our iced tea. I fixed those chocolate chip cookies, the Nestle's Toll House this morning, so that'll be our dessert. But I'm just guessing, me and him both will come back and get the other 2 pieces. It's really that good. That Red Lobster biscuits just make all the difference. They really do. It's seasoned perfect too. Okay, y'all, we will see y'all next time.